Hey everyone, welcome to How to Sound More Natural When Speaking English.
It's great to have you with us today. In this episode, we're diving into a topic that many of you have asked about: how to move beyond just correct grammar and truly sound more like a native speaker.
Exactly. We're not just talking about vocabulary, we're focusing on those little tweaks and tricks that make your English sound effortlessly natural and totally you.
We'll be sharing some really practical tips and examples to help you integrate these elements into your everyday conversations.
Okay, so we've all been there, right? You've studied your grammar rules, memorized tons of vocabulary, and you can construct a perfectly correct sentence. But sometimes it still feels like something's missing.
Absolutely. That's precisely where the idea of sounding natural comes into play. It's about moving beyond just accuracy and into authenticity. While perfect grammar and a rich vocabulary are undoubtedly important, they're only part of the puzzle.
Exactly. It's like you can say, I desire to obtain a beverage, which is grammatically correct, but it doesn't sound very natural. A native speaker would probably say, I want to grab a drink. That subtle difference makes all the difference in connecting with people.
Indeed, when you sound natural, you're not just conveying information, you're also expressing your personality, your mood, and your nuances. It allows you to build rapport more easily and engage in genuinely fluid conversations, making it much easier for native speakers to relate to you. It's about expressing yourself fully, not just correctly.
So, speaking of sounding natural, sometimes I feel like I'm saying things perfectly grammatically, but they just don't quite hit the mark. What's missing from that polished textbook English?
That's a brilliant point. Often it's those little everyday expressions, isn't it? The idioms and common phrases that native speakers use without even thinking, which makes speech sound much more authentic and less rigid.
Exactly. Like if I want to tell someone to have good luck before a big presentation, I could say, I hope you have good luck, but a native speaker might say,
Break a leg. It's a classic, isn't it? And it just flows so much more naturally in conversation. Or if something was super easy, instead of that task was very easy, you'd hear,
oh, that was a piece of cake. I love how these phrases add personality. It instantly makes your speech more colorful and less formal, wouldn't you say?
absolutely. They're not just about replacing words, they're about adopting a more native way of thinking and expressing. It shows you're not just translating word for word, but actually understanding the nuances of the language.
Totally. What about when someone accidentally tells a secret?
Ah, a fantastic one. You'd say they spilled the beans. Imagine if you tried to explain they accidentally revealed the confidential information every time. Spill the beans is so much quicker, more vivid, and very idiomatic.
That's so true. And it's not always about idioms either. Sometimes it's just natural phrasing. Like instead of saying, I am going to depart now, you'd say,
I'm gonna hit the road. Precisely. These little linguistic shortcuts add so much authenticity and flow to a conversation. They're like the secret sauce of natural English. My advice would be to start small. Don't feel you need to learn 100 at once.
yeah, pick one or two new phrases you hear and try to use them when appropriate. Start by noticing them in TV shows, movies, podcasts like this one, or conversations you overhear.
Absolutely. The goal isn't to force them, but to integrate them naturally over time. It makes your English sound much more fluid, engaging, and genuinely native.
Okay, so we've talked about words, but what about how we say those words? I'm thinking about the power of pitch and emphasis.
Absolutely. It's a game changer, isn't it? Many learners focus intently on pronunciation and grammar, which are vital, of course, but often overlook intonation and word stress. These elements dramatically influence not just how natural you sound, but also the precise meaning you convey.
It really does. I mean, think about it. Saying, I love that shirt versus I love that shirt completely changes the vibe. The first one sounds more enthusiastic about the feeling of love, and the second one specifies which shirt you're talking about, maybe contrasting it with others. It's subtle but incredibly powerful.
Precisely. Taking your example, if you say a sentence like, I didn't say he stole the money, by simply shifting the emphasis on each word, you can completely alter the meaning. For instance, I didn't say he stole the money. Someone else said it, not me. I didn't say he said he stole the money. Perhaps I implied it or wrote it. I didn't say he stole the money. Someone else stole it. I didn't say he stole the money. Perhaps he stole something else.
Wow, that's a fantastic illustration. It truly shows how much context and nuance we communicate just with our voice. It also makes your speech sound so much more engaging, doesn't it? No one wants to listen to a robot. Varying your pitch and stressing keywords keeps listeners interested and helps them understand what's most important in your sentence.
Indeed, monotonous speech can make even the most interesting content sound rather dull. To practice this effectively, I'd suggest a few practical exercises. First, try taking a simple sentence like, "She's going to the park," and say it aloud multiple times, each time consciously emphasizing a different word. Notice how the meaning shifts with each emphasis.
Oh, that's a great one. And for pitch, try recording yourself saying a simple question like, "Really?" But try to convey different emotions: surprise, skepticism, or excitement. Then listen back to your recordings. Are you going up at the end for surprise or dropping down for disbelief? It's all about playing with your voice and tuning into those natural vocal patterns.
Excellent advice. Another beneficial exercise is to choose a short paragraph from an English text. Read it aloud naturally the first time, and then reread it, consciously trying to identify and stress the most important words in each sentence. This helps train your ear and your voice to use emphasis more naturally. Remember, it's about conveying emotion and importance, not just reciting words. Right, let's talk about making your words flow together. It's often about contractions and linking words.
Oh, contractions. They make such a difference. Saying I'm instead of I am, or don't instead of do not, instantly more natural, right?
Absolutely. Contractions like I'm, your, isn't are common in everyday English. They make your speech efficient and quicker. Avoiding them can sound a bit stiff.
And linking words, they're vital. When we speak quickly, words blend, especially when one ends with a consonant and the next starts with a vowel.
Exactly. Take turn it off. We often say turn it off, or pick it up becomes pick it up. The T from it links to up, creating a smoother sound.
It's like building bridges between words. Listen for these, then mimic. Try I'm gonna go or cup of tea. Practice is key for natural flow.
Indeed, practicing connecting words helps your speech glide along sounding fluent and less like individual words. This helps you sound more like a native speaker.
All right, so before we wrap up, let's just do a quick recap of what we've talked about today. Remember, it's not just about perfect grammar, but truly sounding natural to connect with people.
Absolutely. We've covered incorporating those wonderful everyday expressions, paying close attention to your pitch and emphasis to convey meaning, and of course, the art of speaking smoothly with contractions and linking words.
Exactly. These aren't just rules, they're tools to make your English truly shine. And the biggest takeaway? It all comes down to consistent practice and keen observation.
Indeed, listen to native speakers, try to mimic their intonation and use of phrases, and don't be afraid to experiment. Each small step makes a significant difference on your journey to sounding more natural. Keep at it.
Well, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending this time with us.
Indeed. We truly hope you found these tips helpful. Remember, practice is key, so try incorporating these suggestions into your daily English conversations.
Absolutely. Keep an ear out for those everyday expressions, play with your intonation, and don't be afraid to use contractions. You've got this.
We wish you all the very best on your English learning journey, and we look forward to joining you again next time for more useful tips. Cheerio!